Are we at the end of the bull run or are we at the beginning of the bull run? In today's video, I'm going to give you some different outlooks on what is happening with this bull run, and I'm going to cover Plan B's model and what he thinks is going to happen over the next few months. So hit that like button and let's jump into it. All right, today we're going to jump into the Bitcoin market because Bitcoin controls the entire crypto market. What I think Bitcoin could possibly do over the next few weeks, what we need to look out for in the next few weeks, what Plan B thinks is going to happen potentially with Bitcoin, whether he thinks we are getting towards the end of the bull run or whether it's just beginning. Let's jump into it here. So the total crypto market cap is around 3.4, just under 3.4 trillion currently, with Bitcoin still at over 100,000, right around 104, 105,000 as of this recording. ETH, at 2,500 in that range here. So let's take a look at Bitcoin here because there's some really interesting things going on right now that we need to keep a close eye on over the next few weeks. It's going to give us an indicator as to what could potentially be happening here. So if we take a look at the Bitcoin chart, you can see Bitcoin has just kind of gone up and made a new all-time high around 107,000, had a little bit of a pullback, went all the way back up to 108,000, had another pullback, went up to 111,000, almost up to 112,000, and now we're floating around that $105,000 range. Now, if you can see here, this heavy black line, that is the M2 global money supply. It's still following this, but we're nearing to this point here where if we keep going sideways and we don't keep going up and following the M2 money supply, I think we could potentially be in trouble here. So we need to follow this over the next few weeks, and if we don't get to over 120,000 by mid to end of July, I think we're potentially in a little bit of a problem here. So if it keeps following this M2 money supply, that's great, and it has been, but right now we're in this zone here where it's got to make a decision. Is it going to correct down below 100,000 again, or are we going to take off and make a new all-time high and make a parabolic move? That's what we're waiting to find out here, and what I think is going to happen is hopefully we'll take a look at Plan B and what he thinks is going to happen here. But if everything follows what it's done historically in the past, and we'll look at another chart here in a minute, we should be moving up here, and if we don't, I think we might be in trouble. So the Pi Cycle Top indicator, you can see the indicators here for the Pi Cycle Top are nowhere near each other still. They're not showing anywhere near the top of the cycle hitting here. And this would be unusual if they didn't get really close to touching or touched at the peak of the bull run like they have in the past here, and in all other cycles they've done this. Doesn't necessarily mean that they need to do that, but it hasn't made a parabolic run by any means where these two lines would touch each other like they haven't previously, or even get close to each other. So the Pi Cycle Top indicator is showing us we have a long ways to go. That's just one indicator. I want to take a look at the video from Plan B here and show you guys that, because he has an interesting chart with Bitcoin. He's got all kinds of indicators that produce the colors for his chart and the markers on his chart where he thinks that we could potentially be entering just the beginning of the bull run. But we'll take a look at that video here because it's really interesting, and I encourage you to go look up Plan B Bitcoin on YouTube. Watch the entire video because it's very informative. But let's take a look at it here.
So it's certainly not a prediction. I don't know if next month the dot will be red or yellow, but it's a detection. I can only look at the state of the market right now. So right now it's the bull market, and also don't be fooled by the length of this bull market. It's not that bull markets are always 1 year. Historically they are 1 year, maybe a little less, little more, but there's nothing that says a bull market can't last for 2 years. So in fact, if we're looking at the data underlying the model, we're right now at the very beginning of a bull market. So we made sort of a fake loop in bull market territory after the January 2024 ETF introductions, and we're now right back at where all the bull markets in the past have started. So it's a very bullish signal, if you ask me. If we look at a technical analysis indicator, a very well-known one, the relative strength index, the RSI. For people who don't know, that's an index between 0 and 100. And for normal assets like stocks, the normal range would be between 30 and 70. So if the RSI is 70, then a stock is overbought and probably to reverse to go down again to normal levels. If the RSI of a stock would be 30, that's a sign it's oversold. So maybe a good time to buy. If we look at Bitcoin, that's completely different. The ranges are different, right? So the average RSI is 65, and oh yeah, everything above 50, RSI above 50 is an upward trend. So 65 really shows that strong upward trend in Bitcoin. And also the ranges, it ranges between, well, let's say 90, 95 and 40, 45. So right now we're at almost 70, 69, and Bitcoin has been ranging between, lately last year, between 75 and 60. So oscillating around the average of 65. And what I expect, maybe I'm wrong, but a lot of traditional finance guys have entered the market, and if they see an RSI of over 70, which we saw here and here, they get spooked. They think it's overbought, and they sell. So it's very well possible that we stay in a tight range, a tighter range, a more normal range for the RSI in the future, because more traditional finance guys have arrived. But it's also possible, and in fact that's, I think, more likely, that we'll see, after a period of bull market, of overbought, there will be a couple of years oversold, a bear market, overbought, oversold. So we're now entering a bull market. So in fact this RSI chart is saying we're entering a bull market.
So I'm not going to play all that. I know that was a long video as it was that I played for you guys, but I just wanted you to hear all of that. So what he's saying is basically, according to the RSI, we're just entering the bull market. And even though on his chart it was showing that we were already in a bull market now for a year, what he's saying is, and this is what I talked about last year, is we pumped early because of the ETF. So we entered bull market zone early because of the ETF. So that's why it feels like a very strange bull market. Usually we're in a bear market until, early on in the, the year after the halving, which is this year, and then we scream into the bull run. So even though we're above $100,000, it doesn't feel like we're in a bull market, because we're still potentially at the beginning of the bull market and we haven't made that true parabolic move. And if you watch the rest of this video, he's showing that these indicators that are hitting with Bitcoin, basically when these indicators hit, it's showing that at some point we should make like a 40% move with Bitcoin potentially in 1 month. And if that happens, you're talking like $150,000 Bitcoin from where it's at now. So, and that matches up with that chart. If we take a look at the chart here, Bitcoin showing that we should get above 140,000 potentially by August. So if we make a big move into July and August, we could potentially see $140,000 to $150,000 Bitcoin. Now, you can adjust this range with the M2 money supply, but if you follow it as closely to the price point of Bitcoin as you can, somewhere in that $140,000 to $150,000 price range, even up to $160,000, is there. It's a potential to be there for Bitcoin. You know, if you kind of match up these lows with these highs, it's showing that Bitcoin could hit 160,000 by late August, early September. So that's a possibility. Now, obviously, none of this is guaranteed. But based off of what Plan B is seeing with his indicators in the RSI and what I'm seeing with the Pi Cycle Top indicator and the M2 money supply, we still haven't had the Fed lower interest rates. Jerome Powell announced just the other day that they're keeping the interest rates the same. So that is really putting a hindrance on this bull run. And hopefully, you know, they talked about holding off for just a few more months before they start lowering interest rates. So hopefully the next meeting they will lower interest rates. We'll see if that happens or not, but I'm hoping they will, and maybe that'll be the catalyst we need in order to start moving us into a bull market. Because with risk on assets like crypto, you know, the investors don't want to put their money into risk assets when interest rates are high. They typically only tend to do that when interest rates are low. But we had this early bull run because of the ETF, and that's kind of throwing off things a lot. And right now, a lot of people are, you know, feeling the pain with altcoins. I'm feeling the pain with my altcoins, but hopefully we get some bullish moves with Bitcoin over the next few weeks, in the next month or so. And we're going to keep a close eye on Bitcoin. I'll keep you updated on what's going on with it and where the indicators are showing us over the next few months. Hopefully we get some big moves with Bitcoin. I think if we start screaming up above 120,000 with Bitcoin, up into that $130,000, $140,000 range, I think at some point we'll cool off a little bit and we'll start seeing alts really run hard if that's the case. So we'll just cross our fingers and hope for the best over the next month or two with Bitcoin, and hopefully the rest of the market follows. But that's pretty much what I wanted to cover in today's video, guys. I'd appreciate it if you subscribe to my channel. Make sure you hit that like button for the YouTube algorithm. If you want to join my Telegram, that is absolutely free. The link is in the description below. Also, if you want to join my Patreon, the membership for that, that's for my Discord membership. That is through Patreon. The link for that is in the description below. It's very affordable. So check that out, guys. I appreciate it. We'll see you on the next video.